Number 10. The Molten Fury. Okay, I am not a ranger. This is why I got so mad when I got 2 ranger emblems from the times I've ever killed this boss. The Molten Fury is a good weapon, but I still can't get over the fact that it's a bow. I just don't want to waste all my underworld stone on a bow. I'm afraid that it has to resort to number 10, and the only reason I put it on this list is for you guys. Number 9. The Demon Size. First of all, the damage of this weapon is so insane that it practically flies off the scales for normal mode. The only problem is that the things take a few seconds to charge up, and by that time the wall is probably already past them. But hey, they look cool. Number 8. The Star Cannon. Okay, I don't like the Star Cannon. There are several reasons why. The Star Cannon is so expensive to craft that I've never actually made one. It uses fallen stars as ammo, which means saving an extra slot into your already clogged inventory. Sure, it has high damage, but I am terrible at aiming. I put it on this list for everyone else. Number 7. The Phoenix Blaster. There is always that one argument on the Terraria forums over a classic, Phoenix Blaster versus Mini Shark. I prefer the Mini Shark, but the Phoenix Blaster is still a very helpful weapon. Crafted from underworld stone, this handgun is helpful for the hungry and is much easier to aim. Combine it with good ammo and you have a somewhat high damaging weapon. Number 6. Spiky Balls. These inconspicuous spiky devils that only do 11 damage at close point range are the bane of many a boss in our time. Bought from the Goblin Tinker, these things do damage to most stationary bosses, provided you can put them in. Catch that? Stationary. This is why it is so low on this list, because the wall of flesh moves. Sorry, guys. Number 5. The Water Bolt. A good magic weapon is sometimes life or death when dealing with the monstrosities that you get to face. Obtained from the dungeon, this Water Bolt is a magic weapon that shoots little balls of water. Wow, killing a boss with water. Nonetheless, this thing packs a punch due to its piercing ability. If aimed upward, this thing will slice through all the damageable parts of the wall and the hungry. Unfortunately, it's kind of weak if you lack any sense of strategy in aiming it directly. Number 4. The Knight's Edge. Everyone knows that a strong melee weapon is a great backup when dealing with minions of bosses. The Knight's Edge is definitely not an exception. This 44 melee damage dealing sword of awesomeness can be combined with the Magma Stone to easily clear the hungry and any enemies who have straggled onto the field. Unfortunately, it's kinda expensive to craft, so many players may not have it. Number 3. The Mini Shark. This is a go-to weapon for most players. Bought from the arms dealer for a super cheap price of 35 gold, and there goes your life savings, this Mini Shark will do a hefty amount of damage to the wall of flesh, and therefore can become a huge asset to players who can afford it. Only one problem. You kinda have to buy ammo every single time you use it. Oh well, it's totally worth it. Number 2. Grenades. This weapon is obtained via chests in the overworld or being bought by the demolitionist. You know, that guy who you got who is Russian and you never spoke to him ever. This bomb will work seriously in your favor, and I prefer it over bombs and dynamite because it will not destroy the sky bridge and you will not have to rebuy them every time. These bombs are mainly used as backup, but is still ridiculously powerful if used correctly. Unless you blow up yourself. Yeah. Number 1. The Aqua Scepter. While most weapons are used mainly for enemies, the Aqua Scepter is a boss weapon to boot. The Aqua Scepter is essentially a giant super soaker. This may seem kind of bad, but if the scepter is acted on by gravity like it is, that means you can destroy the hungry too, and still manage to hit the eye. If you have the mana flower, this means you can essentially have an infinite supply of this really overpowered weapon. Unfortunately, it uses mana really